Hey guys, welcome back. In my last video, I talked about the power of compounding and the gift, if you're young, of time that you have when investing. And I got thinking after I did that video, there was so many more things that I could have talked about and should have talked about. So in this video, I'm going to pick up a little bit on that last one that I made, and I'm going to expand out a few things. And I've come across a different calculator that actually utilizes the power of increases by percentage in dividends, as well as expected or suggested stock price increases to give us a little bit more indication of more accurate numbers. And what I found was simply amazing. So first off, I'll just do a very quick recap, as you can go and see that video in full if you'd like. But we were talking about the stock Fortis, and actually we were talking about a deposit, an initial deposit of $10,000. And you can see on the screen here, leaving that $10,000 for 20 years, not reinvesting the dividends, and getting an average of 9.4%, which is what I was able to show on my fast graphs graph that was up, and getting that compounded annual return, 9.4%, and $10,000 over 20 years, no other investments and no reinvestments of your dividends, would turn out to be about $60,000. When we turned on the drip of approximately, for argument's sake, we said $400 a year, reinvested quarterly, that 60 turned to about 80. Well, I'm going to show you a new site that I've found, and it's one that I've known of before, that gets a lot more granular in these numbers, and it's a lot more exciting. So this site is a site called tipranks.com, and this is called the Dividend Reinvestment Calculator. And as you can see, I've plugged in the figures on the screen here. My initial investment of $10,000 is there. And I've actually put the stock price of Fortis at roughly close, currently $57 each, which would garner us 175.44 shares. You can see there that our holding period is 20 years. The current dividend yield is about 3.9%, but I went a little bit conservative there and I said 3.5%. Distribution frequency is quarterly for the dividends. We're not currently putting anything else in addition, so no further investing. We're just reinvesting, or sorry, we're not reinvesting the dividends to begin with. Tax rate I've put as 0 because this is within our TFSA. The expected annual dividend increase percentage is 6%, which is current. If you go look at the Canadian Dividend All-Star list, it's right around 6% for the last 25 years, I believe, for Fortis. And the expected annual share price increase, again, I went 6% there. That's a number that you can play with because we don't know what that's going to be. But Fortis is a pretty secure and stable stock, and it does show moderate growth within its share price. So, and as I said earlier, you can see there we've not turned drip on. So these dividends are going to be received, they're going to be taken out and spent elsewhere, or they're going to be used for other stock purchases. And at the bottom here, you can see after 20 years, our $10,000 capital would have accumulated or increased, if you will, to $32,000. Our annual dividend income would be $3,203, and the total dividend payout that we would have received is just over $26,000. So that's pretty close, pretty accurate to what the one was that I used the other night. It said 60, and if you add up that ending balance plus all the dividend payments, it's about 58 or 59. So we're pretty close to what that other one was. But here's where it gets really, really interesting. If I take the DRIP, so the quarterly dividend reinvestment, the quarterly dividend that we receive, and I reinvest that and purchase more shares of Fortis, I'm going to recalculate this. And you can see now that our ending balance has increased to $114,457. So again, that's taking the dividend that Fortis pays us every 3 months, buying back stock, and just simply rolling that over. Every quarter that you receive those funds, you purchase more stock with those funds. And you can see there that our annual dividend income is $11,450. The dividend payment so far is $62,105.34. Of course, that's not money we've taken out. We've reinvested that and bought more stock with that. So that ending balance there of 114,000. So we're talking 20 years, initially 10,000, reinvesting the dividends. But again, you're not putting anything more in there. Now, let's take it a step further. Again, keeping all these things the same, but let's say for argument's sake, we're going to continue to reinvest our dividends, but we're going to put in a measly $100 a month. And that might be a lot of money to some. So again, play with those figures. But I'm going to say we're going to put in $100 a month. So annually, that would be $1,200. And now 114,400 turns into $222,000. Now, again, you're probably wondering, hey, that's crazy. That's insane. There's no way that could happen. For the most part, I'm taking information from Fortis for the last 20 plus years. They have currently 3.5 to 4% dividend yield. They've increased that dividend by 5 to 6% for those 25 years. And the share price has increased in the neighborhood of 6% per year every year. So really, again, nothing is guaranteed, but look at the possibilities here with throwing that money in. Again, $10,000 and an additional $100 per month. Let's go crazy. Let's say you got $200 per month, and so that's going to be $2,400 now per year that you're putting in. Everything else stays the same. $222,000 now turns into $330,000. Excuse me, and dividends, dividend income annually of $32,800. With dividend payments of 164, which of course are being reinvested. So again, I can't stress enough, if you're younger, you have so much time on your hands to be able to do this. And I guess the big message in this video, if I can give it to you, is simply reinvesting your dividends is going to do really, really well for you if you can find a stock like Fortis. And again, this is a stock that many, many thousands and thousands, millions of people, they love because of those consistent returns that they're able to give. But if you can find that extra $100, that extra $200, whatever it is within your budget, those good returns turned into fantastic returns. As you can see here, $200 a month is $330,000 over 20 years. Let's say you're 20 and you're going to work on this until you're in your 50s, or you're going to go from 20 to 50. So that's 30 years. Excuse me, I put a little bit too much there. These numbers just go crazy. An additional 10 years in there, you've turned that into $2.6 million. So the power of compounding, in that last video I did, it's so true. But the power of consistently investing as well, in addition to reinvesting those dividends that you get. So this isn't that stock that's going to make you 200, 300, 400% in a year or two and really, really skyrocket. That happens. But this here over time is a very, very solid investment plan. So I hope that kind of gave you a little bit of information of something that's out there for you that you can hopefully utilize. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. Again, this has not been investing advice. However, hopefully I've been able to show you how these things can work for you. Just a reminder, that website is tipranks.com, and that's the dividend calculator. Go there, plug in prices, plug in all you can, play around with different return percentages and such, and see what can happen for you. As always, I would ask, if you've enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that like button and the subscribe button. Till next time, we'll talk to you soon. Take care.